The WhatsApp marketing strategy I'm about to show you could genuinely blow up your business. And I know this because businesses using this exact conversational approach on WhatsApp are seeing real results. For example, a UK real estate firm was able to automate WhatsApp lead qualification and appointment scheduling, and they engaged over 200 landlords in just 2 months through a simple WhatsApp conversation flow. Plus, when companies use conversational qualification flows, not just forms, they see improvements in lead quality and conversion outcomes across the board. The best part is that almost no one is doing this right now, which means you have a massive opportunity to get ahead of your competitors. So by the end of this video, you will have a complete 4-step system you can copy and implement immediately. So let's dive in. Now, to start, we need to look at the bigger picture. For the last decade, we've been taught to build the same marketing funnel. It starts with an ad or with a blog post maybe. It pushes people to a landing page with a lead form. And then, if they fill it out, they get a series of emails begging them to book a call. This funnel is built on friction. Forms create hesitation, emails get ignored, and the entire process is slow, impersonal, and it converts poorly. This model is outdated and is costing your business a fortune in lost opportunities. So with that out of the way, let's dive into the 4-step system you can use to replace this broken funnel. The first shift in this strategy is simple, but it changes everything. You remove the lead form and replace it with a conversation starter. For years, we've been trained to think that capturing a lead means collecting information up front: their name, email, phone number, company size, job title. The problem is that a form feels more like a transaction. It asks the user to give something before they have even received anything meaningful in return. Even if it's only a few fields, there's hesitation built into every interaction. A conversation feels different. It doesn't demand, it invites. When someone sees a long form, their brain registers effort. When they see a button that says chat with us on WhatsApp or get it on WhatsApp, it feels lighter, it feels quick, it feels familiar. There's almost no learning curve because they already know how to use WhatsApp. They use it every day. This is the psychological shift. Instead of asking for commitment up front, we lower the barrier and let commitment build up naturally through interaction. From a practical standpoint, the change is straightforward. You don't send traffic from your ad or content to a landing page with a form. What you do is make your primary CTA about starting a chat. To make this work properly, you need infrastructure that connects your website to WhatsApp in a structured way. You don't want random manual DMs. You want a controlled entry point. And this is where a platform like Lambot becomes very important. It allows you to embed a simple conversational flow on your site whose only job is to initiate and pass the user into WhatsApp cleanly with proper opt-in and tracking. The key here is designing a smoother first step. The bot isn't trying to replace human interaction, don't worry. It's simply removing the initial friction of a traditional form and guiding the user into a channel where real interaction can happen. Once someone clicks the WhatsApp button, they have made a small but meaningful commitment. They've moved from passive browsing to active engagement, and that shift sets up everything that comes next. In the old funnel, you collected a lead and hoped it would respond later. In this model, the conversation starts immediately, and that's what makes step 2 so powerful. Qualify in real time, not days later. Once someone has moved into WhatsApp, the biggest advantage you gain is speed. In the traditional funnel, someone fills out a form and then nothing really happens immediately. Maybe they get an automated confirmation email, maybe a salesperson reaches out the next day. Sometimes it takes even longer. But by that point, their attention has shifted. You lost them. They're back to work, they're distracted, they may not even remember why they filled up the form in the first place. Intent is highest in the moment someone takes action. The problem with the old model is that it lets that intent cool off. In this new approach, qualification happens instantly. The second someone opts into the WhatsApp conversation, the system responds right there and then. Inside WhatsApp, you build a simple automated sequence. This isn't meant to be complex or overwhelming. It's just a short, structured set of 3 or 4 questions that tell you what you actually need to know. Things like company size, budget range, timeline, primary talent, really the same questions that you would normally ask on a discovery call, just compressed into a quick conversational flow. Using a platform like Lambot, this becomes very straightforward to build. You design a guided WhatsApp interaction where the user can respond by just tapping buttons instead of typing long answers. Each response gets captured as structured data in the background. So while the experience feels casual and conversational to the user, your system is organizing and tagging everything in real time. From the user's perspective, this feels very easy, and from the business perspective, this is where the leverage appears. You're instantly understanding who the person is, what they need, and whether they're worth a sales conversation, all within the first couple of minutes, really. And most importantly, you're doing this while their attention is still fully engaged. Instead of a slow back and forth over email, you have real qualification happening automatically 24/7 without adding workload to your team. And that's what sets up step 3, segment and route instantly. This is where the strategy starts to compound. In a traditional funnel, everyone who fills out the form gets treated more or less the same. They enter the same email sequence, they wait in the same pipeline, a salesperson eventually sorts through them manually, and then the system, of course, reacts very slowly because it depends on humans to actually interpret the data. In a conversational funnel, the interpretation happens immediately. This is where conditional logic comes in. Based on how someone answers those qualification questions, the system can decide what should happen next without anyone on your team really touching it. If someone indicates they are a large company with budget and that they're ready to move soon, the system can instantly flag them as high intent. It can notify a sales rep in real time and trigger a human takeover inside WhatsApp. If someone is earlier stage, smaller, or just researching options, then they don't really need a sales call yet. Instead, they can be routed into a nurture sequence, still inside WhatsApp, where they receive helpful content, case studies, or periodic check-ins. And if the person's inquiry is actually a support issue or something unrelated to sales, the system can route them to the appropriate channel entirely. All of this happens automatically through simple logic rules built into the flow. What you're essentially doing is mapping answers to outcomes. If this, then that. It's not complicated, but it's really powerful. What you end up building is a routing engine for your business. Your sales team no longer spends time chasing unqualified leads. They only step in when someone clearly meets your criteria. Everyone else is still taken care of, just in a way that matches their level of intent. And that's how you make your business more efficient. And once you're routing the right people to the right place instantly, the final step becomes very simple: closing the chat. Once a high intent lead is identified, the bot's job is essentially over. Let me be clear, the goal was never to automate the entire sales process. The goal was to remove friction, qualify intelligently, and surface the right conversations. If the lead is really important for your business, then the bot steps aside and lets a human take over. This handoff is critical, but here's the most important part. The sales rep doesn't enter the conversation blind. They can see the full history of the interaction. They know what the lead selected, they know the company size, the budget range, the timeline, and the main challenges. Before they even type their first message, they already have context. Compare that to a traditional inbound lead. A salesperson sees a name and an email in a CRM, and they have to start researching from scratch. Or worse, asking them, "So tell me a little bit about your business." We know that kind of experience is not really good for the user. In this model, the rep can start at a much higher level. The conversation can immediately focus on specifics and have a more personalized approach. From there, the objective is simple: move towards the next step while momentum is still high. That might, for example, mean answering 1 or 2 clarifying questions and then sharing a calendar link directly inside WhatsApp. The entire journey, from clicking the ad to booking a call, can happen in a single conversation thread, often in just a few minutes. And that's the real advantage of this system. The result is fewer drop-offs, faster decisions, and more booked calls from the same amount of traffic. Now, if you've liked this WhatsApp strategy and you're interested in more automations, you're going to love the next video, because in that one, I go over 10 insane ways you can use the new Cloudbot AI agent that's just recently come out in your business to do anything from building entire software applications with a single text message, to having it do a full night's worth of work for you while you sleep, to running 24/7 customer customer support that customers genuinely think it's human. See you over there.